What are some really weird subreddits? Arin's origin. It was started in response to an artist's cartoon that depicted Garfield mutating and going after John. The last caption was, "I'm sorry John. Bullets don't work anymore." It kind of spread into what this sub does. Our Grandpa Joe hat. It's just a sub dedicated to people hating on Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Some of those people really hate Grandpa Joe. That's probably because he's a sorry excuse of a piece of shit. But why is Grandpa Joe such a piece of shit? For the uninitiated, he spends 20 years in bed. 20 years. Why won't he get out of bed? Because the fucking floor was too cold for his gnarled old feet. He sat on his wrinkled, smelly ass for 2 decades, smoking his pipe, living off his daughter's hard work as a laundry wench. He just sat there, undoubtedly smelling of foul cabbage farts and old man stink. If he didn't get out of bed, he probably had to use a bedpan to expel his watery cabbage shits. Charlie's mom gets done washing rich people's shit-stained underwear for 14 hours, and what does she get to do? Sponge bathe an old, stinking man. The fucker couldn't have even been old when he first got in bed. I mean, what did he do? Turn 50 and just crawl into bed and fucking quit on life? Because his feet were cold? Keep that all in mind when you consider how he reacts to his grandson winning a tour of a chocolate factory. He sees this precious boy, who works to feed his age ass, holding a golden ticket, and he starts to fucking dance and click his heels. Now, left to his own devices, Charlie just wins the factory, incident free. Those other little monsters all bite the dust, and but for that sack of fucking feces Grandpa Joe, Charlie would have made it through the day clean as a whistle. But Grandpa Joe just got out of bed for the first time in Charlie's lifetime. What's he decide to do? Steal. He decides the best thing he can do is make his grandson into a petty fucking thief for the sake of drinking magic LaCroix. Grandpa Joe almost cost Charlie fabulous wealth and security for a soda. And he isn't even sorry about it. Wonka points out the devastation his detour from the visit to the factory will cost him, and Grandpa Joe shouts at him. His bellowing eyes Steven forceful or intimidating. His cries are the cries of a shriveled, weak old coward. He has no remorse for the harm he causes anyone. He is a heartless piece of shit sociopath. He does that disgusting thing old people do where they leave their mouth open for too long and then frown because they ran out of energy before they could bitch and moan about something that doesn't matter. He is a lazy, fraudulent sack of human excrement. He is the devil on his grandson's shoulder. He deserves to burn in hell for the rest of eternity. Our Fedlegs. It is a subreddit dedicated to the fetish of one man, Eugene, the feeder of women with their legs painted yellow. Not the torso, not the feet, just the legs, and specifically the color yellow. It is named Fedlegs because the fictional process for getting their legs yellowed is known as feeding the legs. All in all, a very benign fetish, but the lore of the creator is what I think makes this a real contender. Below are the highlights from the sticky post on the subreddit detailing his creation, implementation, and outcome of the leg feeding procedure, along with the Dr. Fedleg universe, which is a parallel universe to our own. Wondered if it was possible to create a fetish from scratch. Based on what I've read, it's a mix of light bondage, leggings, orgasm denial, and ownership marking in the vein of the scarlet letter. I assume that's a fetish. I don't know if there's an exact term for it. He has a detailed universe of how the system works. Why people get fedlicked. Mostly based on the kind of clothing they wear. If they've got their legs visible to be seen, they're getting fedlicked. In universe, everyone is aware of Dr. Fedleg. Full name Charles Fedostrog, the person who got the process of leg painting legalized. He has the government's support. He developed sustainable, clean, renewable energy, which is why he's successful. He never wishes to see women injured, beat, hurt during the process. His reasoning is a mystery, but the one thing for certain is that it has nothing to do with religion. Actual line in the writing. On the 2014 midterm elections, prosecution for Dr. Fedleg was added onto the ballot. People voted against prosecuting him due to his successful Ocean Cleanup Act. Dr. Fedleg has various kinds of paints that last certain durations. He also has a blend of the paint that can stop excessively revealing women, slutty, or rude women from having orgasms. Dr. Fedleg is the only person with permission to apply this special paint. Regardless, I find the whole thing fascinating. What led to creation of the character? Why create this universe to have it all work? Why does Dr. Fedleg care about the environment so much? Is it to be relatable to other people that might stumble across this? Or is it the author inserting his own beliefs into the lore? Why did he choose the 2014 midterm election? The post was written in July of 2018. So the closest upcoming midterm election would have been 4 months away. But he instead chose to go back to 2014, which I think would indicate he's been thinking about this for a while. In general, I just have a lot of questions. This is what I was looking for in this thread. Lots of things people have been posting are explainable at face value, but esoteric subs like this always make me happy that there's weird, mostly unexplored parts of the internet to discover. I miss when things like our solving A858 would get big, but now most of our all is just Facebook 2 or 100 screenshots of Twitter. I miss the weird, sometimes insane but relatively harmless corners of the internet. It's harder to find them now. Like there was this Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan blog thing. I can't find it, so I don't know if it still exists, but at first glance it seemed pretty normal. A few dozen posts a day about Buffy, nothing too strange, until you looked closer and realized that every single post and comment were from the same user. Just one person, posting and talking about Buffy constantly throughout the day for like 2 years straight. Our Amish. Great community for Amish people to meet up on. Our Lurkers is a sub for all lurkers on Reddit to meet. Our Alderaan is a sub for the planet of Alderaan. Our 4th world problems. Our 5th world problems. Our 6th world problems. Our 7th world problems. Our 8th world problems. Our 9th world problems. Our 10th world problems. I personally love these subreddits. Let me give an explanation. We all understand what a first world problem is like. I have too much food and can't decide what to eat. I have to decide on which party I can attend tonight. The concept being that it's only a problem due to privilege where it won't even manifest itself in another type of world. Second world problems and third world problems are more like poverty issues. I found money on the ground, but while I was bending over to pick it up it devalued. The cameramen for National Geographic won't stop taking pictures of me and my family. But once we go past third world, we need to start imagining a little bit more philosophically and possibly even spiritually. The 3-world model was largely defined by the world wars and the country's level of participation. In a way, this really describes the type of privileges each country has going for them. After all, how can you worry about Germany stomping Jewish rights when your village is still dancing at the sky hoping it would make it rain so you all don't die to drought this upcoming year? Each tear is one aspect of humanity's strip. First world, we have all social aspects and able to worry about society and individualism. Second world, we have some social aspects but we are concerned about building and growing as a collective. Third world, we have little social aspects but we are concerned about survival and making that collective stronger. Fourth world, we have hardly any social aspects as everything is hunter-gatherer tribe-like culture. Fifth world, we have no social aspects and we're actually secluded from the rest of the world. If you look at the subreddit, our fifth world problems, it's actually really well handled. Did a golden mouth appear in a bonfire and scream the date of your own death at you? Imagine a culture completely separated from the world. Secluded and alone and left to develop from the moment mankind evolved from early hominids. This is likely where we would still be without technology and kept to a hunter-gatherer society but became super superstitious, instead of only a little stitious. It dives deeper into the metaphysical aspects of other world problems in a satirical way. Sixth world, here is where definitions fail us. What is left of a humanized individual problem? When we even strip away superstition and religious-like attributes of culture and humanity, we are left with what seems to be gibberish. What the sub did here is instead postulate. What if we are the makings of some sort of collective machine trying to gain sentience? If you look at the top posts of all time on our sixth world problems, you start seeing this sort of play out. It's leftover possibly broken machines making communications. If humanity has its last shred of culture stripped and our religious and conscious stripped, aren't we nothing more than just badly programmed robots? 7th world. This is my favorite world. It continues the 6th world problems, but now it's going the opposite direction. There appears to be colors that govern this world and successfully programmed us into a matrix-like reality where it's controlled by the color overlords. You'll see most of the problems are the programmed matrix robots gaining a lucid state of consciousness for maybe a brief moment before going back under and accepting this is our home. 8th, 9th and 10th continue this fashion until we reach meme levels like 45th or 69th world problems. There's a subreddit out there that reads like a local community board, but it's all just people pretending and it's weirdly spooky. I stumbled upon it once, but does anybody have the actual name of it? R paid for WinRAR. Everything aside, why they did make it free is because it's called Nagware, and this particular approach is used by someone that doesn't want to force users to pay for the software, but they really hope that they will. So they make the program nag the user over and over and over in the hopes that they will get so annoyed with the nagging that they'll fork over the cash, even if they'd originally planned not to. This is probably gonna get buried in here, but our John Cena's all pictures of potato salad, and our potato salad is just pictures of John Cena. John Cena is believed to have acknowledged this back in 2013-14 when he posted a picture of just potato salad on his Instagram.